Hello everyone. So I was having a chat with one of the locals around me, and he was just asking me a question when we were interrupted and the conversation never happened. But it's a conversation that actually happens a fair bit, and I'm sure if any of you watching are makers yourself, artists in any way, it's probably one you'll have had many times. And I thought it's worth doing a video about because it's a conversation that happens regularly for us as artists, but it's one that maybe people who are not artists, the ones who are asking the question, not being asked the question, might think in their head a lot. And so I want to do a video that kind of not just talks to them, but also talks to the artists as well, because a lot of you are going to be hobbyists at this point and maybe dreaming of one day going full-time like I am. So the question was that they had been admiring a piece that I made, and it was this one, the main gouge that I'm making as part of a set with a French musketeer rapier. And they asked how much it was worth, like how much the customer paid for it. I won't relate that here because that's private information for the customer, but I let this person know. And they said, how many hours did it take? And I said, I didn't really keep track, but it'd say about 150, 160 hours. And they looked at me like I'd just fallen out of a tree in front of them, because the hourly rate they were quickly working out in their head, because I could tell that their life revolved around money like most people's do. And they worked out in their head very quickly that it was an extremely low hourly rate. Now my stuff is much more reasonably priced than some makers of similar level, but not hugely so. I'm on the left side of the bell curve, let's say, but not hugely. I feel that I get what I need for my work. But they were horrified, because what it works out to is below what the minimum wage is here in Australia, on an hourly rate. And they were just asking me, how can you stand to make something like this and not sell it for what it's worth? Something along those lines. That was the point at which we were interrupted. And I knew what was coming because I've had this conversation many times before. And I've even done a video before on how much to charge for your work. And I highly recommend seeing that, because I still stand by what I say in that video, even though it is an old video. However, what I was going to say was a response that I thought might be worth putting out there in a video. I don't know, this isn't going to be a super long video, but it's important nonetheless. So let's just say that you had your current job, whatever it is you're doing. But let's say you had your monthly income from that job. And I came along and I said to you, I have a service that I can offer where you will pay me a monthly fee, and in return, you will be able to work whatever hours you want. You won't be reporting to anybody, so there's no approval process for what you do. You get to start work when you want. You get to end work when you want. You can have holidays when you want. You can take sick leave and not have to get it approved beforehand. And most importantly, what you will be doing for your work, instead of what you're doing now, is something that you find personally fulfilling and healing for your soul to do. And for a monthly fee, I will allow that to happen. Everything else will stay the same, your lifestyle will stay the same, etc. But you'll have to pay me that monthly fee. My question is, what would that monthly fee be worth to you? What would you pay to actually have all those conditions met, to be doing something that feeds your soul, that brings you a deep sense of fulfillment, and be doing it on your terms with no approval process, starting when you want and finishing the day when you want, just calling in sick to yourself instead of to somebody else? How much would you pay per month to have all of those conditions met? Even if it was everything that did not cover the bare minimum of your expenses to get by, which for some people it would be. that is essentially what working for yourself as an artist is. You are being paid much less than you would if you were working for somebody else, but you are doing something that you find profoundly meaningful, and you're doing it on your own terms, and that's worth something. How much that's worth is going to be different depending on the person. Some people are still very much caught up under the very painful illusion that money is what makes the world go round and is the most important thing, and you need to hoard as much of it as possible. A lot of you watching it now are probably still going to be laboring under that assumption. And if that's you, then you probably wouldn't pay much at all for that, because it would be taking money away from you. But if you're like me, or anywhere in between, there would be an amount you would pay. For me, I would pay every scrap that I could to have that, to achieve that. Anything, I would simplify my life to be able to live as cheaply as I possibly could, so that I could spare money to pay this fee to be able to live like that. Now, not everybody's going to be as dramatic as that. Not everybody's going to find those values as important as I do. And that's understandable. Everybody's got their own thing. But it's a very interesting question to ask yourself. If somebody had the genuine ability to give that to you, to make your day look like that every day, all year, forever, how much would you be willing to pay? Which, if you take that value, is exactly the same. If you strip that away from the amount that you earn now, that's what you'd be happy to live off of, to get to live like that. The math is the same. So, shameless plug here, but I did actually restructure my life very dramatically in order to achieve this and live this way. And I did write a book about it, which I have done a video about in the past. It's called Breathe In, Breathe Out. If you realize that you would pay a lot for that, if you've just watched this video and thought, oh, damn, I would pay everything I could to be able to live like that, this book helps explain how to get there, because it's not really as simple as that. You've got to change a lot about yourself to be able to live like that. But the rewards, if they mean enough to you, are just phenomenal and truly priceless. So I thought I'd throw out this video. It's a random one. It just came to me because of this conversation that only half happened. But I wanted to put the video out there. Hope you're doing very well. My next video is going to be a continuation of my Why Your Stuff Sucks series, which you guys seem to love. It's going to be Why Your Forge Worlds Suck. So it's a highly requested video from me, and I plan on going very, very deep dive on the science of forge welding. If you can't perform a successful forge weld at the end of this, then it will be my failure, not yours. Anyway, until that video, big thank you to my patrons for supporting the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.